life. And it also shapes their beliefs about some of life's greatest questions. Many Muslims believe that if they live the way God intends, they will have a peaceful life. Muslims are taught that this life is a test, and their actions determine their afterlife. When they die, they are judged according to how they lived their lives. Muslims who have led a good life believe they will be rewarded in paradise, which the Quran describes as a green garden filled with trees and flowers. The Quran teaches that wicked people will face eternal punishment after they die. But Muslims also believe that God will be forgiving as long as people ask for forgiveness. But not all Muslims believe the exact same things or practice Islam in the same way. About 30 years after Muhammad died, Islam split into two different groups or sects. The majority of Muslims are Sunnis. About 10% of Muslims are part of the Shia or Shiite community. Many Shiites live in Iran and Iraq. The reason for the split is rooted in the differences of opinions about who should be Muhammad's successor, how Sharia is interpreted, and by whom.
Islam is about life's joys, as well as its mysteries. And some of the most joyous Muslim traditions are celebrated to welcome their children into the world.
Obaid and Yagut Khan share a special tradition with their family and friends.
We want to thank everybody for coming to celebrate the birth and baby naming of our son. We're very proud to have him with us and have you here with us to celebrate. His name is Zain Maji Khan. It's always important to kind of pass on from generation to generation what your culture is, what your background is. You know, talk about the values that of your religion or of your background that you hold dear and are good. Hey, little man. Huh? He's had a rough day already.
He's dreaming.
The custom is anywhere from 7 to 40 days after the baby's born. You have a ceremony called Akika. In that ceremony, you are supposed to announce to the world what the baby's name is, and you're supposed to shave the baby's head. You take the hair, you weigh it, and then you give the weight of that in gold or silver to the needy or the community at large. Oh, who's this? Do you know who this is? That's the doctor who delivered your little brother.
We named the baby Zain.
It means beautiful. That was the great-grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. The tradition is when the baby's born, the first words that the baby's supposed to hear are God's name.
After he was born, Obi put him on my chest, and I whispered the name of Allah in his right ear. The reason for that is, by tradition, it's required that the first word the baby hears is the name of Allah.
And then she handed him back to me, and I whispered Surah Fatiha in his other ear, which is the first chapter of the Holy Quran.
It's a great feeling, you know. It's nice to have your family with you. You bring home this child. You can celebrate, you know, your joy. It's very nice. At the same time, you can teach your children the tradition, their religion. You can tell them what it's like. We've been doing this for generations and the importance of it.
It's great to have something to celebrate. Most religions celebrate holidays every year. Some of those holidays are times for joyous celebrating. Some are times for serious reflection. And many times, the holiday is a time for both.
For Muslims like Hamid and his family, Ramadan is the holiest time of year, and the festival that comes at its close is one of the happiest.
Ramadan begins on a different day each year at the start of the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, when the moon is just a tiny sliver in the sky. Muslims believe God revealed his message to Muhammad, peace be upon him, for the first time during the month of Ramadan. For a whole month we fast from sunrise to sunset, no eating or drinking all day. This fasting is called Saum, the fourth of the 5 pillars. We start each day with a big meal, but no more eating once the sun comes up. Not even a drink of water or a stick of gum. Fasting is hard for younger kids, so we usually don't fast a whole day or all month until we're 13.
Do you think you know now what it's like to really be hungry and without food?
Yeah. And that's the idea, to turn your back on usual everyday things and think hard about God and about whether we're living our lives the right way.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
The days of Ramadan are a time for thinking and for praying. Evenings are a time for being together with your family. At the end of each day, we share a meal after the sun goes down.
Let's say,
Allahumma barik lana.
At the end of the month, when the moon is just a tiny sliver again, we share the celebration of the festival we call Eid al-Fitr.
Eid al-Fitr is one of the happiest times of the year. After we go to prayers at the masjid, we come home to eat. It's the first time in a month we've eaten a meal during the day, and we make sure this meal is a good one. There's so much to eat, and it's all delicious, like rice, chicken, tabbouleh, eggplant. We have yogurt, olives, and a chickpea dish called hummus, and pita bread. For dessert, we love to eat things like baklava and burma, and a date nut cookie called mamoul. Eid al-Fitr goes on for 3 days. Most Muslims close up their businesses for the celebration. People give presents, and they travel to visit their families. The month of fasting helps us enjoy the days of feasting.
Well, the kids are winning, as usual, and the parents seem to like it that way. You know, it's an interesting thing about a baseball team. Different players playing different positions make a team stronger. We can learn to understand those differences and learn to work with them.